Hi everyone, welcome to Wellness with Dr. Mariam. And today we have special guest, Miss Salma Osanar.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Mariam. Thanks for having
Hi,
me.
hi. Thanks for being on this channel today. And so today is going to be a very special topic that's close to the heart for many parents, for moms especially who have given birth. Okay, maybe some of you have heard of this word, but I'm positive that this term is quite new to some, especially if you have not experienced it or if you have not given birth. So, diastasis recti. If it's the first time that you are coming onto my channel, please help to subscribe to the channel and like this video and share with all your friends, okay, especially with mummies. Miss Salma, she's an enthusiast for movement. I'm gonna invite Miss Salma to share with us how have movement helped you to bridge the diastasis recti. Okay, please take it away.
Okay. Hi, Mariam, Dr. Mariam. Thanks for having me. Okay, just to briefly I'll go through the slide first. So I'm sure, okay, if you've not heard of the term diastasis recti, it doesn't mean that you're not familiar with the condition. Like you've heard of the term mummy pooch. Like no matter how much you exercise, the pooch is still not going away. And you think that it's because you're overeating or that you're just lazy and fat or just destined to be, a certain shape around your midsection. So there is that perception. And generally, I'm not saying this is the across the board condition. Mothers who've had babies need to verify that they don't have this condition of diastasis recti. So if you have the condition, your exercises need to cater to that condition in your body. So if you have diastasis recti, there may be exercises that are conventional that you're doing that could contribute to worsening the situation. So no matter what you do, no matter how many crunches you do or ab work that you're doing, you're still not getting the flat belly. So I'm going to illustrate to you why that may be so. This might be a little stunning because of the imagery that you're getting. So what I mean by diastasis recti, okay, do you look pregnant months after your delivery? So you might have what is called diastasis recti. So what is it? So you have these ab muscles that is holding your stomach together, right? And then during pregnancy, this happens to everyone, right? Your stomach and your organs, your uterus expands your stomach, right? So in doing so, what is supporting your stomach? Your abdominal ab muscles. It's never going to, it's not a condition that everyone is safe from. That's what I'm saying. You will all have that ab separation during the course of your pregnancy. And then after you deliver your baby, you have the period of confinement, and then you wait for your uterus to return to its original position. The uterus is actually not in your stomach area, at your abdominal area, right? So it returns back to the rest of the to where it belongs originally. Okay, so after that, by and large, we have, if you are a healthy, exercise regularly and you are mindful about what you eat, generally you will have your tummy back. But a lot of us seem to have that hanging pooch. So I am using a very lean person's stomach with diastasis to contrast the condition. So you notice that her abs has not fused back, the muscle tissue has not fused back. And because of that, right, in this picture, she's flexing. So if you're not flexing, you're just relaxed, right? You will have the flesh of your stomach just hanging out. And you will notice that a lot of there are many fitness and professional fitness personalities, runners, they are lean everywhere. And if once they've given birth, they have had their babies, they will have that hanging stomach. And because the reason why they have that is because they have the condition, diastasis recti condition. So let me just, hold on a second. Let me just get into the slideshow mode. Sorry about that. Let me just get to that. Forgot to get into that. Okay, so this is the first slide. Let me move on to the next slide. Okay, what is diastasis recti? So basically what I've just said, these are all the text to explain what I've just said. Okay, so basically your stomach, the midsection is parting, will part during pregnancy. And for most of us, it fuses back. For a lot of us, it doesn't. It's still parted. And when it's parted, if you do exercises that are conventional, you may be contributing to worsening the situation. Okay, so now let's talk about how to test for diastasis recti. So this is again a general test method. Okay, there are if you go to a professional therapist, they will have varying degrees of tests to check the extent of your diastasis. You don't get treatment for your diastasis from a YouTube video. So this is an introduction to this condition, right? So don't take this as medical professional physiotherapist help. Okay, I'm just telling you, if you're a lay person and if you're at home and you want to know, maybe do you think I have? I mean, if you want to know, you're wondering, okay, do I have it? So what do you do? Simply lay on your back, right? You keep your knees bent, so you're back on your back, right? So you bend your knees, so knees up, pointing upwards, feet firmly on the floor. And then you bring your hand gently to your navel, right? And then your palm is facing down, okay? Palm down on your navel. And then you lift your head like you're doing a crunch, but you just lift your head only. When you're doing a crunch, you are lifting your upper shoulder, right? You don't do that. Just lift your head. And in doing so, you are crunching your stomach a little bit. So when you crunch the stomach, right, and then you use your fingertips to feel in the middle of the abdominal, right? And if you feel that if you can fit in 2 fingers width or 3 fingers width, that means there is a separation that fits the width of your finger, then you can confirm that you have diastasis. And sometimes for some of us, you don't only have the width, the separation, you also have a depth. You find that your fingertips are moving deep into the separation. So that's a severe form of diastasis. So if you have confirmed that you have this condition, then you cannot do a lot of exercises because these exercises can contribute to worsening the situation. So why do I say that, and why is that related to movement habits? Because the stomach, right, if you add pressure, so you imagine you're having a baby, right? And then you are expanding, so it's pressure, right? And then you could do other things, activities that could contribute to adding pressure to your body, like even breathing. If you're of the habit, like let's say if you were always tucking in your stomach to make your stomach flat, that's all adding pressure. And you would think that, oh, I'm tucking my stomach in and I'm holding my breath and I'm having a flat belly look, it's an appearance that you're going after, right? But you're actually adding more harm to your body, more harm to your stomach muscles, and not curing the condition that's making you have that mummy pooch. So mentally, psychologically, all of this can affect us, because as women, we want to look good, not just for our husbands, but because it makes us feel great about ourselves, and when we are among other ladies, we feel great, when we are looking good and we can compliment one another and so on, right? So and this is the point that I'm trying to drive. You need to be aware about what the condition of your body is before you apply exercises and movements. So when I discovered that I had diastasis after carrying twins to full term, they were both 6 kilograms, so they really stretched me out. I found my whole philosophy and outlook in the way I moved changed. So even my attitude towards exercise changed. So I'm not even talking about just doing like traditional conventional exercise movements. I'm talking about sitting less, and sitting on the floor instead of sitting on a chair, and changing the landscape of your house, so your movement, your culture of movement around your day-to-day activity actually drastically changes, because this paradigm shift in the way you move has led me to conclude that furniture and the things that the modern day creature comforts are actually causing detriment to our health, because these are all micro habits that will accumulate in our daily compensation that causes tightness or this additional pressure that will end up breaking down the healthy normal function of our joints and our muscles and our tissues and fibers and so on, muscle fibers and so on. So that's pretty much the gist of diastasis recti and the general movement habits that can contribute to diastasis recti. And not just that, and pregnant women are not the only ones who can have it. Men can get it too. Regular people can get it too. And again, it all goes back to abdominal pressure and all the things that we do to contribute to that. So if you're always sitting down, if you're wearing high heels a lot, or if you again always tucking in your stomach, all these habits can actually contribute to that. And you may be having this condition even if you are not pregnant. But it's more likely for pregnant women to have that, for obvious reasons, and to continue having that without even knowing it, because for some reason our midwives and our gynecologists are not are not making this as part of their routine check, or the routine, what do you call that? Checklist. It's not in their checklist to ensure that it is something that you rule out in new mothers, or mothers who have babies. And I find that it's rather negligent if you are a medical professional and you are not aware of this, because it is a very it's also a recent area of study. It's only it's got about 15 years of study only. So it's obviously we've been pregnant from time immemorial and we've had this condition, right? Which brings me back to other traditional methods of healing, post-pregnancy healing. I'm not going to get into that now, but it just made me appreciate old school methods of post-pregnancy treatments, because clearly they've had all of this in mind, when they apply these restorative treatments for mothers who have gone through pregnancy. And I'm talking about, it varies from culture to culture, and it's usually a lot, it's prevalent in the Eastern cultures. I'm not very familiar with the Western cultures, but it's very prevalent in the Eastern cultures in terms of dieting and, restoring your health, your vaginal health, the health of your stomach and so on. Okay, so let's get back to what's another reason why you need to be aware of diastasis recti. So again, because of the abdominal pressure and the dysfunction that it causes to the rest of the organs in your body, there are 4 chronic conditions that have been identified in the medical field. But of course, there may be other areas also that you may have problems with. First of all, you might have pain during sex. And pain during sex could be a lot of reasons, obviously, but if you have a severe diastasis recti, it could be a contributing factor. So you need to look into that. So again, it is necessary for you and the wellness of yourself, and it's important to build the trust in your relationship, with your partner, to have your sex life restored. So if you are still having pain while during sex, despite all the other, like the Kegels that you do and all the conventional exercises that you do, you should make sure you check and rule out diastasis recti. And then of course you will have incontinence, like urinary leaking. Is also because your pelvis is not stable, and again because your abs are so weak, all of these are contributing to that. And then you will another typical condition is the chronic back pain. So chronic back pain is can be rather debilitating. You can't even function in terms of being a mom. You have to carry your child. If you have many children who are young, you need to manage. So if you're constantly having to deal with a backache, then it's going to impede your role as a mother. So again, if you have a backache, and if you've done everything, you've gone for a massage, you've gone for treatments, and you're still having a back pain, it could be because your abs are very weak because of the separation. Okay, so, and then the other thing is postpartum constipation. And you find that no matter what, you are always bloated. No matter how much fiber you eat, you're still having a hard time, because you imagine your stomach is separated, your gut is sticking out of your stomach. Those are extreme cases where you find the intestines are actually sticking out of your stomach. So all of these, those are extreme cases. And that one, I know that the people have gone to get surgically corrected. They actually surgically correct the ab separation. But that's extreme situations. But these are a few things to look out for in terms of symptoms that may be caused by diastasis recti, and not necessarily what we are aware of conventionally. And that's about it for my slideshow. Yes. So I hope I've been clear. I'm just speaking off the cuff. So go ahead, you
Yeah.
can.
Thank you so much for sharing with us. I think I get a better understanding of what is diastasis recti. Actually, I didn't read the part about non-pregnant person can also get diastasis recti. May I ask, like, what are the other factors that can lead to that other than pregnancy?
Like again, the way you move. So let's say if you are prone to carrying heavy objects, and then if you tend to bend forward, and then you apply pressure on your stomach. It just some people just have bad habits. You instead of standing upright, you're bending forward. And then you move that way. Imagine if your work requires you to do that, and then you're doing that for 8 hours a day, and all of that is adding pressure. And then by the time you stand, the pressure could be causing the separation. And for men, a lot of the separation issues are caused by I can't remember what I've read about men's situation, but it's usually these type of habits, like your work, your career, like someone who has spent a long time in his career doing certain things that is constantly adding pressure to your midsection.
I'm just curious if sudden weight loss can lead to
Uh,
that. Do you think?
Sudden weight loss, I'm not sure. It may reveal the separation more because the fat is out of your body.
So
Yeah.
when you had this experience where you get the diastasis recti, um, how did you realize it, and then what did you do?
I was already okay. The diastasis, I was aware of it before that, but when I realized how bad the separation was, I had
This
to
was
because
after your twins, right?
after my twins. So what I did was, okay, I have to accept that, okay, I was breastfeeding my twins, and they were fully exclusively breastfed. And you have to factor that in. So you're not going to restore the status of your stomach and your abs in the time that you're breastfeeding, because you have hormones that are contributing to relaxing your muscles during that time. Your body will retain body fat. This is all physiological. This is nothing to do with you or your nature. It's not that you're bad or you're lazy or you're a glutton or whatever. So you have to get that out of you need to have that, don't have that 6-week goal, 8-week goal mindset. If you are breastfeeding, you have to accept that none of the changes, the drastic changes that you are expecting yourself in your body composition, physical appearance, aesthetics, and all that, don't expect it then. So you have to tell yourself, equip yourself with the knowledge that, okay, this is what I'm having. What do I do? I did a lot of hanging, like when I just went on to, poles, and I just hang and I attempt these pull-up motions, because these help with certain range of movements, and these are things that you can go into detail when we have a longer session where we talk about the physiology of the body. So in my capacity as a exclusively breastfeeding mother, there were things that I did that helped me. And before I was pregnant, I used to be able to do handstands and headstands, the yoga, inversions. I managed to get to that when I was about 6 months postpartum, and I did not expect to be able to do that, like a proper push-up after 6 months. So I think I'm very happy with that kind of a progress. Although I still had a tummy and I was able to, so it was, again, I also learned about myself. I'm strong despite all of that. So
Mm.
it gave me a boost. I'm a very vain person. I needed to have my previous physical self. So that was another motivation. I was vain before, I'm vain now. Okay. So this is always something that I'm going to pursue. But I also learned that it felt great to learn that I'm strong. I can do a headstand, I can do a handstand, I can engage my core muscles despite the fact that I have flesh hanging out of my stomach. So that was a great boost. And then of course you press on, you have to press on. So these are things that you have to mentally, the wellness bit comes to
But
play.
when you say movement, you don't mean doing a headstand, right? For
No, 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 no.
starters.
Doing the hanging with his
Yeah.
hand on the, these are things that you don't conventionally do. Like
Mm.
again, I sit on the floor instead of on the mattress, and go without shoes as much as possible. The soles of our feet. Of course, publicly we do lah, but in the house we try not to. And then, or wherever possible, like, when I'm taking the kids to the playground or whatever, I opt not to wear,
But what
situation.
does that, how does that
I
contribute?
think it contributes to your overall, because you are the soles of your feet are interacting, the little tiny bones and muscle tissue is interacting on the floor, on the material that's on the floor, and it's communicating neural information to the rest of your body, and it contributes to your overall healing. So there are things that you spend time doing during, let's say, like a foot massage. I forget what's the traditional foot massage.
Reflexology, is it?
Reflexology, yes. They work on certain parts of the feet, because it contributes to certain uh, parts of your organs and your body. So it's the same underlying philosophy. And if you want to, I mean, talking about it, this I can't just, I'm just talking out of my head now. This is not, if you prepare a material and look into, detailed professional talk about it, then you will appreciate. But it's just a cue here. You can look into this, the health of your feet. And then simple things like say your feet, like trying to separate your toes away from one another, like that. I mean, these are my fingers, but doing that to your feet.
Yeah.
This
Now when you're saying, I'm trying to do it.
it
Yeah.
helps. And like like trying to go on your tiptoes, and look at how children move. Children are very natural, like rolling. Okay, this is another thing. Like there is a whole new fitness movement where they have this mobility movement. You do all kinds of animal movements, like bear crawls. I did a lot of bear crawls. you know uh, uh, Basically like crawling like babies, like moving like animals. It's called animal movement. You can Google, look for animal movement. These are all like, it appears to be like play. Like you're just like rolling your body upside down on the bed, on the floor. Like if you're not used to moving like that, try on the bed, on the mattress. So you have some cushion, some backing, to support your body. So you do these real the animal movements actually help me, because, and then I realized that, wow, it's getting my heart rate up. So there's some level of cardio going on also. And then I go for a lot of walks. Because I can't do a workout or whatever, I spend time walking. I spend less time sitting, because I'm breastfeeding them. I'm on the bed all the time. So to compensate that, I try to walk. I take the kids out. I lift the stroller. So all of these are contributing to your strength, and building muscles and so on. And of course, it occupies. There are other ways. You're occupying your time. You're making a plan ahead of the day to spend your day, and then you enhance your mood and you have a goal. So you will live your life with a little bit of objective, despite whatever challenges that you have in your life. And you try to, because a lot of these things will bring us down, because we also have other challenges around us. So we try to cope, and this is the reality of coping in the world.
Yeah.
So
Especially
that's,
for mummies, a lot of things on the
yeah,
mind.
yeah, yeah.
It's
Like now I'm
24/7, right? No, non-stop
yes,
work.
like I'm sitting down. I try to sit cross-legged. Oh, I try
Mm.
to sit with my, like in different yoga poses, and then I
Yeah.
try to stretch out my legs, these kind of things. It's become a second nature. It becomes a habit. And then when you're out in public, it's kind of weird to sit cross-legged in a cafe. But these are things that are contributing to my health, and I'm in Asia, so it doesn't matter how I appear, I mean, if I'm squatting for a little bit or whatever,
Yeah.
that, yeah, like instead the seated toilets are also detrimental, unfortunately. Squat
Yeah.
toilets are the healthier, way much, much healthier.
I think
In
they
fact,
they've also done some scientific research on that actually.
I think
The
that's been,
squatting
yeah,
toilet.
it's been
Yeah.
established, because they have even tools to compensate the seated. I mean, like they give you steps
Yeah,
to,
step tools. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Anyways, yeah, we shall.
Thanks a lot. Actually, I think there's so much more that I really want to chat with you about. But I think in the interest of time, we need a part two with you on this movement. But I understand that you also do classes, right? You have
Yes,
some
yes.
yoga classes, movement
Yes, I do.
classes.
I teach, I personally practice, if the listeners are aware of Ashtanga yoga, that's my personal practice. I
Mm.
like it because of the discipline and because of the development that it gives me throughout. You commit uh, through time, you get the benefits and you reap the benefits. So I really enjoyed that challenge. But for as a teacher, I offer restorative yoga classes and movement classes. My business is called Movement Menu. So these are what I do is for the beginners. This is I would say that I would offer classes for beginners, and then we will build. I'll build on from there. And flexibility is not the requirement for these classes. Learning how to move more fluidly and learning the extent to which there is fluidity in your body is the goal of these classes. And we'll be doing moves that we are not normally doing in our day-to-day activities. That's
Mm.
because the goal is to, you know, add fluidity to your joints and your muscles and your tissues to help you go through life optimally. Like you are walking and sitting and with optimal function at while you're young, right? And then it's not. You shouldn't expect to be deteriorating when you grow old. You should be able to function like you are now if you do the work now. So that's
Yeah.
the goal. And a yoga class is supposed to give you the tools to carry on this throughout the day for you. So a class may be 20 minutes, 45 minutes, half an hour. You do that, but you apply it throughout the day. So having a teacher, it's like a cue, it's like a motivation for you. And of course, the teacher-student connection, all of that would help you provide, have the tools to carry on this culture of healthy movement habits.
Mm.
For
Okay.
you and your
So
children.
yeah, the children, yeah, if you are crawling like animal, I think the kids will also enjoy, right? It's like a
Yes,
playtime.
yes. And it also brings out the child in you, don't take everything
Yeah,
so serious. Try to enjoy life with the kids while you're coping with the storms that life throws at you.
definitely, definitely. Okay, so thank you again for sharing with us today about your experience with diastasis recti. And for the audience, if you would be interested to join a beginners yoga class with Miss Salma, can pause and scan this QR code and go to this website. Okay, so one question on this class. Is this open to male and female, or do you have a female only class?
I have a female only class.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, I'm afraid the class is only for females.
It's okay. For male, don't worry because I will invite another male movement specialist in the coming month, and you will get exposure on the male point of view. Okay, not just male point of view, but also, if you want to take classes, there you will have one more. Okay.
I'm also not
So
knowledgeable in that area, the male, physical and
physiology.
physiology to contribute. So not my area of expertise either.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
Thank you, Dr. Mariam, for having me. I really appreciated the time spent here.
And
Yeah.
yeah, thank you,
Yeah.
Salma, for joining us today. And hopefully, we can have a part two interview with you if you would like to share more about your movement menu.
Well,
And I guess it has more applications to health than
you're breaking up a little bit, Dr. Mariam.
diastasis recti. Yeah. Okay, so see you. Thank you.